Hey, what's happening everybody out there? I'm Jakejames Lugo and welcome to the channel. So today's video review is going to be a little bit different because of the game that we're talking about and also because of these amazing guns that I have. But we're talking about Tekken 7 today. Now I have a long history with the Tekken series. It's something I've played ever since I was younger, back when I was living in New York. I used to go over to a friend's house who lived on top of a pizzeria and we used to play Tekken 2 and Tekken 3 all day with the smell of brick oven pizza in the air. That's why I always associate the PlayStation with the smell of pizza. But regardless of that, we're not going to reminisce anymore. We're just going to dive right into this. Get the guns out, get your fist ready. This is Tekken 7.
Tekken 7 is the continuation of the legendary fighting game franchise from the arcades and the PlayStation 1. It tells the story about the ongoing feud and conclusion between Heihachi Mishima and Kazuya Mishima, as well as what's next for the big King of Iron Fist tournament. There are a lot of returning faces and some newcomers to this iteration of the Tekken series, with plenty of hard-hitting attacks and style to go with it. You have your standard fighting game staples, including the arcade mode, online and offline multiplayer, and a few bonuses to mix things up. But the main pool this time is the Tekken 7 story mode, which tries to give a clear narrative to the Tekken universe and bring the Mishima blood feud to an epic conclusion. It's cool to go through, but the difficulty spikes in some sections may be super annoying for some people. A few of the fights seem way too unfair and definitely need to have their difficulty adjusted. But Tekken 7 also acts as a way of celebrating the entire legacy of the franchise, giving plenty of fan service and nods to older games and spin-offs. If you've ever played a Tekken game before, or if you've stuck with the series since the PlayStation 1 days, then chances are you're going to find something that's a very cool throwback to what you love. As someone who's been there since the very beginning, it's awesome to see so much effort go into spotlighting how far the Tekken series has come throughout the years.
Now the crazy thing about Tekken 7 story-wise is that it continues this feud between Kazuya and Heihachi. The two of them have been fighting each other for many years throughout the entirety of the franchise, even through the spin-off games. But finally in this actual game, we get some more kind of conclusion and a little bit more clarity to some of the stuff that's been going on. Don't get me wrong, however, the story for Tekken overall, with the entire franchise, hasn't been all that great, and Tekken 7 still kind of stumbles along the way. But you have to admit that the presentation, the visual aesthetic, and the music of this game is phenomenal. Tekken has always had a high standard for presentation, and this game is no exception. And what's even more cooler is the amount of fighters that are included on this roster. It's not as much as some of the previous Tekken Tag Tournament games, but it's still very meaty and has a huge diverse cast of characters with a whole bunch of different moves and special abilities and other different things that make them wildly unique. One of the things that I love about Tekken 7 is not only is it still that same kind of, fresh take on the Tekken gameplay that you know and love from back in the arcade days, but it has a whole bunch of other stuff implemented into the fighting that makes it feel different than previous installments of the Tekken franchise.
Tekken 7 adds some new layers to its gameplay that fans may love or hate. You have your standard one-on-one fights with plenty of moves and combos to practice and discover. However, the new rage arts will add more depth to an already intricate fighting system. If you find yourself getting messed up and about to lose, you have a chance to execute a rage art that acts like a powerful attack or super combo, dealing massive damage on impact and giving you the chance to make a comeback. However, you could choose not to do so and instead enjoy a massive boost to your attack power as your health gets very low. This has been something in the Tekken series for quite some time and has been included in most of the modern games, but has been divisive amongst fans. Some love it because it keeps the momentum shifting during a fight, while others think it's a very cheap way to allow someone to make a great comeback after doing so terrible during a match. Outside of the fighting, you have lots of new customization options and bonus modes to help you earn new items and other cool bonuses for your fighters. As far as it goes when it comes to sheer amount of content that's offered, Tekken 7 really delivers.
Now I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, I am not a huge fan of the rage system or the different special moves and critical arts that you have in Tekken 7. I'm a little bit more of a purist when it comes to Tekken fighting. I think that it's a little bit much more genuine and you get a little bit much more skill levels kind of shining when you don't have these types of systems implemented. However, I do understand why they're in there. A lot of casual players wanted more mechanics to be able to kind of, have some sort of comeback where they're not completely just getting dogged throughout the fight. I'm a little bit more of the hard-hitting Tekken stuff where your comeback is more kind of earned with your skill rather than just a move that just goes right through some of your opponent's stuff and allows you to deal massive damage. I know a lot of people like myself have some problems with that here and there, and again, there's a lot of different good arguments that you can make for both sides, but for what it is right now with Tekken 7, in the grand hindsight of the entire game, I still think it's totally fine. I still think the fighting is phenomenal. You have a lot of moves per character, you have a lot of different combos you're going to discover, and a lot of other neat little things that you're going to find here and there depending on what character that you're playing as. The other thing too I want to to touch on is some of the stuff with the backgrounds and the stages. I love the look of the stages. They look phenomenal. I think it's cool where some of them you're able to kind of like throw your opponent below the actual floor and go to different levels of the stage where you'll be able to see other stuff throughout the course of the fight. The other thing that we have to talk about is the DLC and some of the extra characters that are getting implemented into the Tekken universe for the first time. The big one obviously is Akuma from the Street Fighter series. Now obviously we had this crossover with Street Fighter Cross Tekken a while back, but it's never been done within the Tekken games themselves. We still have yet to get Tekken Cross Street Fighter, so this is the perfect example, or at least the only example we could go on, of what a Street Fighter character would work like in the Tekken universe. And from the results of it, it's pretty damn cool, it's pretty damn interesting, and even though Akuma still fights exactly how he's supposed to, with all his projectiles and other moves related to the whole Satsui no Hado stuff, he also still works within the confines of the Tekken universe, being a 3D fighter as opposed to a 2D fighter. And then we get even more of this with some other DLC, including Geese Howard from the King of Fighters series and the Fatal Fury series, which is again another crazy crossover I would have never thought we would ever see. But even beyond that, which goes even beyond this craziness, we get to see Noctis from Final Fantasy 15, a Square Enix character no less, within a Tekken game. And for the most part, all these characters, besides their special moves and the things that make them unique to themselves, they still work within the Tekken universe, and they still function like great characters that a lot of people are really going to have a lot of fun with discovering what they could do. Whether they're tournament viable or anything of the sort, if that's something that you care about, that is yet to be seen, and again, a lot more people are going to have to spend more time with them. However, as far as characters and fun, hype-inducing additions to this game, this is pretty damn cool. Now, besides all the single-player stuff, including the story, including all the versus modes with multiplayer, we have to talk about all the extra content on top of that, which I feel like Tekken 7 does better than any other entry in the series. As far as a celebration of the Tekken franchise, Tekken 7 is the best game that's come out thus far, not just the latest game. There's so many different types of like CG movies, little kind of, concept art and kind of, bonus promotional material that you never really got in any of the other games before. And to me, I love looking at stuff like this, whether it's, again, an anniversary collection for older games or a brand new game that really gives a hard nod and a lot of fan service to the people that have stuck with it throughout the years. However, I do have to mention this is a big problem for me, especially when the game first came out. A lot of the older movies from the PlayStation 1 games and even some of the PlayStation 2 games, their quality is not that great. Some of them are still displayed in that aspect ratio of 4:3, but they also have very pixelated looks to them. They weren't really cleaned up, they weren't kind of, projected or at least, displayed in high definition, and that is a huge bummer. You can say the same thing about some of the later games, especially going through the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3 era, but those are a little bit less kind of messed up compared to some of the earlier games, which haven't really aged that well. Now, obviously, this wouldn't be a hard-hitting game like Tekken if we didn't talk about the multiplayer, and specifically about online multiplayer, which is a very big deal with Tekken 7.
The multiplayer of Tekken 7 is good when things go smoothly. Offline multiplayer is great, but like any other fighting game online, you're going to have those moments where lag and bad connections impact your fun. But when you get into a lobby or match that runs smooth, Tekken 7 becomes incredibly fun to play online. You can play ranked or player matches, as well as set up online tournaments for prize money to spend on your own characters, and even save and watch replays of previous fights. When you really look at it, Tekken 7 gets a lot right with its online multiplayer, even if there are a few hiccups here and there.
So the online multiplayer for Tekken 7 is still pretty good when it works properly. However, there is those moments, much like any other fighting game out there, that you're going to run into some pretty bad connections and it's not going to be fun to play. It didn't happen a whole lot, but for the most part, my entire experience was rather enjoyable. I still got to play with a lot of different people and again, just go to town on them. I'm telling you guys, the ass whoopings I was handing out were phenomenal. I mean, look at these guns. How do you think everybody's going to handle these guns online? I mean, seriously. I mean, come on now. Don't get me wrong, there's even more beyond that, and I would show you guys my abs, but I don't want to break YouTube with how amazingly phenomenal they are. I'm going to let you guys have this one, okay? You're going to have this one, alright? Either way though, online play could still be fun whether you're playing in ranked matches or player matches. You're still going to be able to enjoy the game for the most part. Now the other thing I have to mention that doesn't really factor a whole lot into my review is the PlayStation VR support for Tekken 7. If you guys didn't know, if you have a PlayStation VR, you're able to play the game in first person mode, as well as also look at different characters and I think also stages with the use of PlayStation VR. It doesn't factor into my review because it doesn't add a whole lot to the game itself. It's just a neat little kind of add-on that if you happen to have a PlayStation PlayStation VR, you could do so. And there you go, guys. That's my thoughts on Tekken 7. I think it's a great game that everybody should play. It's a beautiful looking game, and it's a lot of fun to play overall, even if you've never played the Tekken series before. There's a lot of extra content to enjoy on top of that. It'll really get you caught up on the legacy of the franchise, as well as a bunch of new and interesting stuff to discover through its DLC. With that being said, leave me a comment down below in the comment section, guys, if you can. Tell me some of your favorite Tekken characters or some of your favorite Tekken games or anything else that you guys want to talk about. Heck, you can even talk about these amazing guns that I have right here. I mean, look at these things. They're phenomenal, aren't they? I'm telling you, they're amazing. Also, don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel for all my videos related to gaming reviews, as well as other cool stuff and vlogs that I have posted up here right on the channel. And don't forget as well, guys, I am on Patreon. There'll be links down in the description box below. Help support me on Patreon, support my content. I'm going to be giving you guys a bunch of exclusive stuff, a bunch of rewards and perks just for supporting me at any tier level on Patreon. And big shout outs to Jasmine Russell for supporting me at the Beast tier level on my Patreon page. Again, you're getting shout outs for the entire month on every single video. Anyway, I will talk to you guys again very soon. Peace out and stay epic, everybody.
Thanks a ton to everyone for watching this video review. I really appreciate all the support. If you guys can, subscribe to my YouTube channel to check out some of my other videos, including my other game reviews and my vlogs that I post up every week. If you guys can, leave me a like on this video and don't forget to leave a comment down below. I will talk to all of you again very soon. Peace out and stay epic, everybody.
Yeah, boy, yeah, look at that. You see that? That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal right there. Look at this thing. It's just damn near phenomenal. I'm even impressed to myself. Seriously, I mean, look at this. This is awesome.